What will you say in the Fig update?
Hey, Psycho backers. It's me, Tim.
Is this shit right now?
Zach's not here, but he has moved on to other things, and we wish him well. He definitely worked really hard on this project and made a huge impact. But now I am the creative director of this project, and things are going to be different. It's not going to be a psychic game. I don't know. I think it will be something like that. Someone got arrested at Starbreeze headquarters.
There's a possibility that they do
really full steam ahead working on Lobato.
I think we have to really prove to ourselves that we can make a really great level that we all love.
Tim is like, people don't seem like happy.
There's like finger pointing happening and stuff.
I mean, you don't need to get defensive.
Or just people just not working well together, things are gonna get tougher.
I think a lot of people are hoping that Tim steps in and saves the day.
I came in late to the meeting where Tim was telling everybody. Like I was actually walking up to see Lee, and Monica was like, "You should go in there." And that's kind of how I found out. And then like Carol took me in her office and like spelled it all out. So I knew something was going to happen. I didn't know it was going to be that. I understand it. It's something that nobody wants to have happen, but it's got to happen. I think we've been trying. I think there's been a few things that's been going on where it's been trying to work that out. And I think it got better for a little while. I don't know what that's about. Like, for some reason, it just started getting bad again.
Oh, sorry. Hi, everybody. Nice to see you all. There's so many people here. It's so nice to see you. Hi. Hello. So just to start off first, I think not everybody may have heard, but most people have heard we had some big staff changes on Psychonauts 2 team. Zach McClendon is no longer the project leader of Psychonauts, and he's no longer an employee at Double Fine, and that was a pretty big thing to do on Friday. But there had been some very negative and bad things going on with some unhappiness, and a lot of people know the situation going on in Psychonauts, and we had tried to fix it for many, many months. And but we tried to do everything we can to rehabilitate the situation and make it better, but it wasn't working. It was really putting the project in danger in a lot of ways with E3 coming up. We really wanted to make sure that the team was able to do its the best work and make a really great level that we're going to show there. So we took that step, and it's done.
Do you feel like if you were more involved and not stuck having to write so much, if things would have played out differently?
I don't know, like, starting the company, I was doing all the games myself. You just do one game at a time. And I felt people wanted to grow beyond where they were in their jobs, so we started doing multiple projects where other people were given chances to run the projects. And that was an advice that actually Ron Gilbert had. He's like, you want to get to the point where other people are making games for you, like he did with Humongous. And so I was like, that sounds good. And sometimes that works out and sometimes it doesn't. Like I think in the case of Lee Petty, I think he runs his projects really great and I don't have to do a thing. On Rad, it's looking amazing. I don't have to stick my nose. If I stick my nose in, it's just to sabotage it because I'm jealous. And it is going great. And we've had other projects where that wasn't the case. And sometimes I feel like the most stress I've had at the project was, the most stress I've had at the company is trying to, influence a project that I'm not really creatively controlling and just try and influence it indirectly, because you only have so much control. But if you can build that capacity, then you can build a company that's capable of making multiple games. And we've done that a few times, and sometimes it's more of a struggle than others. But I don't know, I've come to value my own way of running a project. Like, I feel more comfortable with the slightly chaotic way that I run a project. Like, I feel like there is value to that. And I think going forward, we're not going to immediately jump into reinserting any sort of leadership on that team. We're going to step back and I think the team's in a good position to be self-organized for a while. A lot of stuff that it's doing are on track. And it can go with just us stepping up a little bit to help out where needed, with me getting more involved. Like I always say, when people ask for advice, and I always talk about advice about how to start a company, I talk about getting the most creative people and the most smartest people and the best people together, and then just getting out of their way. I think that's really important. You have to kind of get out of their way and let them work together. For some of you, that might lead a lot of questions, and I'm here, and everyone's here, and Carol's here. If you want to ask those questions, but other than that, it's obviously a big deal and not to be taken lightly, but hopefully in the end much better for the project. So that happened. Anyone want to ask anything about that now? Well, I'm standing here awkwardly in front of you. It's fine.
We believe in the team, and can't wait to see what you guys do. And this is hopefully the chance everybody gets to act creatively and be the professionals in your discipline that you've wanted to be, and it's going to be really good.
Yeah. Okay, so that's Psychonauts news. Let's talk about business. Hey, Greg, follow up that.
I will. We had a good call. Right now, we're still being paid by Starbreeze, but who knows what it's going to look like in 2-3 months once their reconstruction period ends.
Starbreeze.
Yeah.
Are we a company? I don't know. Tune in June in Bankruptcy Court in Sweden to find out.
Yeah.
The moment you've all been waiting for.
But there's just so many potential ways that this could go right now that I feel like we have to kind of just behind the scenes work on bringing as much money to the project as we can and hope that we can figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, Greg and I that's what we're doing is trying to secure funds to finish the game. He's on the phone, like hustling. There's a lot of deals in the air. Some could happen if we go one way, some could happen if we go another way. So just a lot of spinning plates in the air right now. It's a little stressful. He's a little stressed out. You see his hair all pulled in one direction, that's he's been pulling on it.
But it's a weight I proudly shoulder, knowing that there's so much great stuff happening within the walls, and that we have a super talented team on it that's making awesome stuff. And so being able to shield them from that a little bit so they can make something special, I think has been a pretty worthy cause. The other conversations are more acquisition based. So that's kind of a whole different thing. And that would mean somebody swooping in and buying the studio for rights to our entire catalog of games and anything we do going forward. So they would just be paying our salaries and payroll, and we would get to focus on making games. The first person that approached us about this is Microsoft. And they have been doing this recently with a lot of studios. But we're talking about investment deals with them, and for them, their big reason is Game Pass, which is kind of like their version of Netflix. It's like a streaming platform where, it's not streaming, it's a subscription platform where you pay $10, although right now I think it's $1 a month for a host of games, a couple hundred games, and they want to get our whole catalog on there and our future games too. So talking about a big chunk of investment for that.
There's also been talk about acquisition.
Wait, you gotta wait till I drink some coffee before you ask again. Keeping in mind you're right in front of me.
Yeah, so acquisitions.
No, independent till death. Never acquired. Unless with a lot of money.
Is there an ideal party that you, in your heart, would like to be paired with?
Ideal party? A company is only the people that are there at that moment, and there's certain initiatives going on at different companies. So that combination of who's there and what they want to do makes these fertile areas open up, and they can be great. And so it's really not like the name of any company or brand that I would say, but just like I know some things going on at a few companies that like that looks like that would be a fertile place to do a bunch of creative stuff and not worry about money.
So even if you found someone that seemed like it was a good place to be, that management could change and suddenly.
Definitely.
Yeah, but then how different is that from the problems that the studio faces normally?
Yeah, we're always at the risk of some wind blowing and we go out of business. But we've always been very nimble and scrappy and figured a way, to cling onto the branch when the wind is blowing. And we would, if have to sign any sort of deal, we wouldn't take money that would give us no control over our survival. We'd have to be able to like protect ourselves and be able to survive anything.
And there's also always the potential that things go bad, and we have to make hard decisions. And we've been there before too, and you guys have seen layoffs happen here at the studio before, and it's the worst, and we don't want to do that again. But I think we know that no matter what, like Double Fine will exist and continue to exist, and we have a desire to live, and we will continue to.
So, in his last year at Double Fine, I just didn't interact with him. I also think he was doomed once Anna left. I don't think there was any way to come back from that. Only 2?
Yes.
Oh, awesome. Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
Just get like a tap installed. So, what the hell happened?
How
did you even end up in this situation?
I was working late on Thursday at home, and it was about 1 a.m., and I had this like super crazy pain in the bottom of my stomach. And then I moved upwards a bit and stayed there for about 3 hours and got worse and worse. The fear is that whatever's happening to my liver is going to cause liver failure. Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, if I had just had like a silent liver disease, that would have been much worse. But hopefully we'll figure it out. It's a little scary not knowing, like doctors not knowing what's wrong. I also, even though everyone keeps saying not to be, like it's a bummer to not be able to help out with the Lobato level.
And we're going to remove Mia from the levitation tutorial completely, but not her voice. So she'll be talking in your head the entire time there. We just don't have the overhead to do the animation. There are a lot of cutscenes, and
our biggest risk is animation.
Yeah, our biggest risk is animation.
And VFX. Hi, Tazio.
I'll just make Tazio work harder. I'll just do my favorite thing, which is stand over Tazio's shoulder and then tell him what he should be doing.
If we execute on Lobato and make Lobato as good as we all want it to be, I think that bodes well for the rest of the project. Like, I think that that'll set expectations that need to be set, honestly, about like what game we're making.
So the only way I see it really affecting us is just like it's a whole new direction now. Like the way people are talking to each other already and the way that the teams are kind of working already is like changing. And we will certainly be affected by that for sure. But I think in a good way. I think it'll be all right.
It's nice that they can now do what they want to do and make the game they think is going to be best.
Emily storyboards. Do you have all transition storyboards anywhere?
No, did she do storyboards?
Oh my god. You
Oh
guys,
my God.
we need to talk about communication on this team.
Yeah.
There's
No,
a
did
folder
she
on
do
Cooper
transitions?
under art storyboards for Lobato that says all transitions. And it's all these
geez.
wacky transitions in Lobato.
Oh, really? Oh, man. Okay, I didn't know about those.
Yeah. Yeah. Come on.
And hopefully Tim will get more engaged as well. I'm not confident that'll happen.
Tim's vision hasn't been the driving factor of this game for
Right.
a long time.
Right.
And, I mean, Tim kind of handed the game to Zach. I mean, I was kind of hoping to sit with him and talk over some of this stuff just to get his, not just the writing, but just kind of like, what do you think's going to happen, man? What do you know probably better than anyone at this point? Like, where do you see this going? Because part of me is like, I'm just kind of sitting here just because I'm excited to see what happens.
I think the game would benefit a ton from him being a little more in the trenches when he's at work. And I know that's also almost impossible because he has so much to write.
It's a possibility.
Tazio, how's it going?
I'm doing okay. It's been a weird couple weeks. You know, Zach leaving. We had like right after that, we just had an insanely productive week.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Like if the difference between last Friday and this Friday is quite significant.
Yeah, I feel different about the project, certainly.
Ooh, look at this.
This looks good.
Looking so much better.
So much better.
Look at this room.
So good.
There's also just a lot of things that I didn't realize, like secondary effects of like the production before Zach left, where it's just like I felt disconnected to a lot of the decision making. So if like I ran into a problem or I had a solution, I'd like, you know, I wouldn't feel like empowered to have a conversation about how to fix it because it would never be the time or whatever. And like I feel like also just because we are at the state of production where we're like we just have to solve problems now. There's I think a lot of our problems previously have been about indecision and about like it's like Zach would keep his cards like really close and be like, oh, I'm looking at these things, and now it's just like, well, we need to solve these problems now, and that means I think we're taking these problems much more seriously and the state of the game much more seriously, which is necessary. And if there's like if we have an idea for how to make it better, we can like talk to all the involved like parties and get that done. And I don't think I certainly didn't feel that way previously.
The previous regime had a lot of power concentrated in one place. So I think a lot of people feel like they have a lot more authority because all of that sort of like disseminated down to the team. I certainly feel like I have more authority over powers, being able to make those decisions.
Because I was going to say, question, what happens to mental energy?
Well, right now we're not using mental energy.
Okay, that answers my question.
That's what we're trying right now.
You're trying it out. And that's the intent for the playtest on Friday to kind of see that.
Same thing, there's no ammo either.
Mental energy still turned off, right?
Oh, not only that, I have it removed in code. Yeah, I'm going to submit that soon. So good. That was day one. Just sitting in the seat, it was like, there were two things, like, we shouldn't do mental energy. Cool, turn it off. Also, Cyblast shouldn't have ammo. Awesome, took it out. Like, it was just quick things that we'd all just been wanting for so long that we could just do immediately.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay. Let's try it.
Okay.
Is that something that
So I'm going to do that more, and maybe I can just take my stress levels down to where I can be happier here.
I'm already seeing this emergence of, well, Jack's not here. We don't have to do that anymore, do we? No, it's not that easy. And then they get the other side of, well, Zach's not here. I can do that thing I wanted to do. And it's like, hold on, it's not that easy.
People want to put stuff into the game. They want to.
Yes, and we have to be careful about that. And the whole Leeds meeting was like, we have to be like very communicative with this team and make sure that they're very clear of like what passes and what doesn't, and if you have something, who to bring it to. It's just a new ball game. Like this game in general is just, it's quite an adventure. Yeah, it just feels like we have a really brand new road right now, and we have to be careful and thoughtful about where we go.
I mean, if we can actually be successful with Lobato, it's probably behoove us just to redesign all of the team to be more level focused rather than discipline focused.
I agree.
Do you want Ryan on there?
Yeah, I do want Ryan on there. The question is, like, with his leave being what it is right now, I want to specifically ask him, like, where do you want to fit into this?
Have you talked to him yet?
Yeah, we've been. Yeah, he is aware of the situation.
How's he doing?
He doesn't know. This is the actual answer.
I'm concerned. I want to make sure that Ryan's okay. I think Ryan is a good designer, and I think he has some really good ideas, but I also know this is like super personal. He's good friends with Zach.
Where have you come to us from?
Previously, I worked at Crystal Dynamics for a while. I worked at 2K for many years. So
That's where he was.
Yeah, that's how I know Zach.
In the time we have remaining, and I really want to say this, I really suggest either as leads to our disciplines or as a leads team in general to the entire team, we tell them we trust them.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of duress on the team right now, and they've been through a lot. And I think it would be a very good message to just get in front of them and say, we totally back you guys up. We know you can do it. As far as leadership, for me, the whole thing I was saying is you have to trust your team. Like, you have to. That's how you are a leader. Even if you don't think they can do it, you put across that you trust them. Otherwise, what have they got? If you don't have that, then like all you have left is just like regret and doubt, and it just snowballs. I've done that. I've certainly done that. But on a project this big with this many people, you cannot afford to do that. You have to believe right till the end. I am impressed with Tim because he does do that. Annoyingly so. Like a month before ship, he's like, oh no, we can do this. I'm always amazed by his capacity for that. And it inspires me against my will because I don't want to do it. But I'm like, yeah, maybe he's right. And that gets me in trouble. But like, it's a good leadership quality.
Well, I mean, right now we don't have a project lead. And, you know, per the conversation I had with Tim this morning, we ain't going to be getting one anytime soon either. So
when he said he was going to be more involved, did he think he was going to be that involved?
I don't know. I don't know. I know he said that he has admitted that he needs to be more involved. But no one has sat down and had the question of who's going to be the lead. That hasn't even come up yet. No one has even brought that up. But it is on us then to decide what we do.
People are very polite to each other here, and so I don't think we're having the uncomfortable conversations we need to have amongst leads. You know, it's just like you do need a project lead, you do need one person, and that person should be Tim.
No, you're right. No, you're right. I think, maybe the most important thing that this project needs after everything we've been through is for Tim to go, all right, everybody, I am the lead, I'm the project lead. And I think there's a lot of people that would go, thank goodness.
So, I obviously want to get more involved on the team. I still have this thing where I'm going to be locked in my room a lot writing because a lot of people need a lot of writing done, and I don't want to hold up that stuff. But I feel like talking to people, and it's going to be annoying at first because I have to do a lot of catch up on some of the deep design stuff that I don't know what's going on. I'm going to have to sit and meet with people and ask what's going on and find out where things are at. But I feel like there's a lot of things you can, just by asking a few questions, I found some things that are kind of lingering open design issues that I feel like it's okay now to close a lot of these things up and move things forward and push things forward. You see that happening a lot in Lobato already. A lot of things are getting decided once and for all, and but that's what I want to continue doing is meeting with people and see where things are, finding all these open issues and kind of closing them up and moving things forward creatively when I'm not locked in my room. So you're going to see a lot more of me and I'll be talking to you people, and I don't mean you people. Look at Ben. You people. I keep forgetting to stare over everyone's head when I say so. You people, but that's what I'm going to be doing. So I'm getting back involved more in the project, and Psychonauts is very near and dear to my heart. I've been locked up in here writing for a long time, and that it's hard because it makes you kind of, in some ways, you have to be really in touch with the game because you're creating the narrative parts of it, but then you get kind of out of touch with the team because you're locked in your closet all the time. But now I've been going back into meetings and checking out the team, getting really involved in the Cube of Caligosto, which is the Dr. Lobato intro to the game and that level. And I don't know if you heard about this, but there's a trade show in LA called E3. No one knows what it stands for, but it's coming up. And we're going to show Psychonauts there for the first time kind of ever. I have to drink this coffee now. That wasn't weird.
There are reporters poking around.
Yeah, they're calling. I think they want to find out a riot level of misconduct type of thing, but that's not what happened here. Could write a book about it years from now, but who knows? I mean, that's one of the reasons I want to show really well at E3 is because when management or anyone big and important on a team leaves, it's like, what's wrong? Is that a troubled production? And all productions are troubled. But it brings a question like, is something wrong? And so I like to show that we're making a good game. And everyone will know that.
How do you feel? Good. Welcome back, James.
Hey. And anyone else who just came back from vacation or near-death experiences? Yeah.
They're kind of like integrated, so like they're very specific. So
I just posted about this in Slack. You guys were talking about this and Asa posted about it, and I was wondering, why is it in several swoops and jerks? Like, why isn't it just like one long extended thing as you get closer, he gets farther away?
So before you got here, we actually said, we thought that was your comment.
Yeah. It was mine. It just feels really swimmy, and I don't really know why it does it like that. Like, it seems like it would just be like easier to just push this one linear progression out.
Yeah, I get it, Tim.
Otherwise, I have to write that
Tim, I
dialogue
get it.
again. I don't want to do
okay?
it. If you got it,
Okay,
it'd
I
be
can't
done
look any
already.
faster.
If you got it, it would look good.
Guys, please don't fight.
It hurts.
I really want to get along.
Yeah. Okay. Save that for the trailer for the documentary.
We have an example here where there's you can see Dr. Lobato at the end of this hallway, and you're supposed to be chasing after him. So you go to run after him, then the hallway is going to start stretching out in front of you. And we can do that pretty simply now by just placing a portal there and then moving the portal along as you get close to it. So like right now, looking at this, it's pretty clear that even if the player doesn't know exactly what's going on, like something funky's going along this border here.
It's like mask lines.
Yeah, it's like, I want to be able to create these experiences where people have no idea how we're pulling them off.
I think that's it. If you guys have any questions, Andy has some more things about more detailed ownership things.
Yes.
And it looks like a little speech on your phone.
No, I have notes. Just to make sure I hit all my points. Yes, thank you, Tim. So we've been talking about like different people owning different things. What are these features we're working on? Who's kind of the contact person on that and driving that forward? So we all just kind of like got that on paper. List of main game features and who is working on them. I wanted to just run down this with everybody. It's just stuff that everyone's already doing, but it's important to put this out in paper, to bring it up to everybody here in the group and go, this is what we're doing. Powers, gadgets. Amy is the owner of that. Player is Devin. Devin owns all the player stuff. AI and combat's Anna. Anything that's AI, combat related, Anna's the point person on this. Aaron does cameras and portals. That's it. That's it.
Kind of accurate.
Levi is simply lighting. Good luck. Economy is owned by Lauren. Game systems, this is a big one, which of course goes to Key. He put some examples up here, miscellaneous systems like saving, loading, quests, multi-spline mesh actors, whatever that means. Fast track. I'm a producer, I don't know. I'm sure it's super important.
You really don't know them.
Yeah. Tim, would you like to talk about multi-spline mesh actors?
Some mesh actors have one spline. Not on Psychonauts 2. No, I mean, I'm not the project leader, but I am a lot more creatively involved. It's nice. It's nice to work with the team again and to see them. They seem happier, and it's nice to see them feel empowered and doing stuff, organizing themselves, getting stuff done, and talking to each other. You can see them all just meeting in the hallways and figuring out what to do and just moving forward with their own creative decisions.
So the number and complexity of portals in the level has gone down, which is good. But for the couple that are still remaining, I should go over with you like the specifics of like all the little things we should do to get those like in polished state, basically. How do we make them not look like mostly good, but like perfect? Right.
Did you guys talk about the hallway and how you want to finish this up? Because it seems like bugs and stuff, and it's piling up in here. So I feel like a whole bunch of people need to just knock this out tomorrow.
The hallway, we're moving on to it next as soon as Tazio finishes the exit cutscene stuff. Which is
all right, cool. Let's keep going then.
And there's a bunch of just big sequences that need a fair amount of effect support. But then there's also this moment where you're running down this hallway and it stretches and it goes all crazy. And making Rise feel sort of small and insignificant.
Messing with the camera, the FOV or something to make it seem a little freakier or weirder would add to it.
Like a dolly zoom. And we had a bunch of ideas for how to sort of handle this, and it's gone through a bunch of different hands, but there's a really good camera trick for doing that, which is it's something that we've just stolen from film. You truck in and then you zoom so that the world just warps. Since we're doing that on top of moving the portal, that's adding this extra layer. Not only are we distorting the space in camera, we're also doing it in real life.
Cut to the outside of the mouth, and that's where you're
cut to the outside of the mouth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Am I good?
Right?
I got it. I'm,
Cut to the outside of the mouth.
I'm picking up where you're laying down.
Okay. Cut to the outside of the mouth.
What was confusing, Clam?
Me? I didn't say anything.
Clam.
Yeah. I didn't
We just
say-
assume you're confused.
Are you confused, Clam?
I am.
If Clam gets this, anyone will get it.
I'm confused at your question.
And then every once in a while, they'll hit a point where they have a disagreement, and I'm happy to help step in and like help them decide these things, because some things just have to be, you have to make a call and move on.
And like just using him as a frame of reference of like, you know, this is what we want.
Right? Like the way it was set up in the storyboard, there's like an enclosed specific space that is like where she is. And like, so essentially, I don't have to extend this shot out.
And getting more involved means just playing the game and writing up annoying pages of notes for the team. But they seem to want that for some reason. Usually I'm like delivering these notes and everyone's like, what the hell is this? What are these last minute changes? And now they seem to be really like, oh my God, thank you. This is great. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. And are those the animations they're going to use for that scene right there?
Which one?
For those walks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the whole thing was supposed to be they're all walking like da 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 da, trying to act casual, but now they're all just bolting off. You know.
We increased Raz's movement speed to be faster than a walk, and we can't have Raz.
Why do we do that?
Because people hated the way it felt.
I don't care. Like, that's not the way it's supposed to be. Okay. We don't have to talk about the whole meeting, but I would like to go over that with somebody in more detail and go over the way that was supposed to be, so we can get that right.
Okay. So then, Lauren, you and Tim can sync up after this and find out.
But everyone can complain about how they don't like slow walk. I just don't care. Because like it's only this hallway and the next hallway and then it's over. So just shut up, everybody. Because it's a very short sequence and people can cry all they want about it.
Okay, we'll get you two talking, and then we can talk to Devin about adjusting it to whatever you guys feel is right. Because I think
we don't have to take every single piece of feedback that we get. Is my saying what I'm saying.
Okay, so Sasha almost playing correctly.
But it does seem like people want you to be telling them what to do. More than not.
I don't know what to say about that. Like on different projects, people's relationship with authority is kind of funny. And there's some people who they accept having their authority over them for whatever reason, and they want to hear stuff from that person. And then there's someone who they don't think should have authority over them, and they're like, that person should shut up. And figuring out, and so they'll take something from the person whose authority they accept, and they won't take it from the other person. And it might be the exact same idea. And so figuring out why people give their authority to some people and not others, maybe it's just trust, or they think they know what that person's about and they just trust them, or they've just made a decision, or the person was just already in power. I don't know, I guess if you think you know what the values are of the person in control, you're more likely to trust them. Because maybe you can't see where they're taking you, but you trust they're taking you somewhere good. And if you don't have that trust with someone, you just are like, where are you taking me? It turns everyone into a backseat driver. Why'd you turn down this road, you dummy? Especially if you've never been on a trip with that person before. At least I wrapped up that metaphor.
It's good.
Thanks. Yeah, he's supposed to be talking with or hearing
There's
Sasha.
a trigger to talk with Sasha.
Hey, did you kill all enemies?
Yeah, if you kill all enemies, the game breaks. Yeah. Yeah, if you hit K, the rest of the level
Tim, we're
won't
doing
work.
great.
We should just have this meeting on Friday with the playthrough build.
You could just
guaranteed to work.
You could just play from here. For that
I heard
shit.
that before.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's like some of it's also just about like coding the level, getting like establishing a baseline and figuring out like how we need to do things and running into the problems as early as possible so that we have time to fix it. Yeah, but it seems like there's no way that this isn't going to be really hard.
On the environment side, we're gonna start sweeping from the beginning to the end and polishing it. Scripted cutscenes, since there are 4 designers, we're gonna split you guys in 2 sections and we're gonna attack them that way.
Close enough. I'm just getting out of here. Woo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Tim.
Bye.
Intro.
Hey Tim,
Yeah,
how do you feel about the
lighting's
timing
messed up.
of the coach right
I told
there?
James
It's baked, though,
It's
like,
like,
that's just
like
how it
coach
is.
should be like in front of you when you say coach, and he should be running past you.
Raz is like blurry here, even though that.
I stopped. I paused it because Tim was saying something. You were saying something. Oh, that was great.
Oh, that's awesome.
You guys. That's because there's like an emotional connection between that technique and the story that we're trying to tell in that moment. It just like it feels like it just fundamentally works, and especially at this stage of production where things are just like kind of like pretty suddenly coming together, having those moments sort of stand out as being like, oh, this is hitting that mark that we're trying to achieve. It just feels really good.
Get some rest. You're gonna need it next week.
Woo! Okay. And is that going to be there and then you're going to set up or how's I saw the specs for it. Yeah, but
The fairies.
Before it gets like
Before they do that?
Yeah, so like do a cut and then have all of the stuff that's attached to
I
it.
see.
Like have it
Because
land on the tooth, and then we cut.
I mean, you'll go out there, Lovato will be on camera, you'll look at him.
Yeah.
Turn it, you'll look at him. And then they'll point and this light will come on, and then you'll look at that. And then the next cutscene will happen. 100% guaranteed.
Well, we will put in a failsafe when they don't look at the light.
Yeah, we don't have to because it was 100% guaranteed.
100%
100% guaranteed.
We definitely have to.
Only bad people won't do it.